Hi everyone, thank you. Thanks for joining. In this video, I'm going to attempt to build an agentic AI application using GCP and MCP Toolbox for databases. Now, this is the architecture of MCP Toolbox for databases. It allows you, it is an open source MCP server for databases. It allows you to build Gen AI applications that connect to the database. So it is kind of a middleware that sits between your application and the database and your enterprise database. And MCP Toolbox for database is able to connect to multitude of databases like AlloyDB, Bigtable, BigQuery, Looker, MySQL DB, Postgres database, and much more. In this video, we are going to build an HR agent application that will help answer questions that end users might have about employees from the database, which will be hosted also on Cloud SQL. And we'll install MCP Toolbox for databases in between the agentic application and the databases. This is going to be hands-on. This will be two-part video series. In the first part, we'll explore how to install MCP Toolbox for databases, how to validate, we'll install the database itself on Cloud SQL. And in the part two of the video, we will build the front end, the agentic AI application that would connect to MCP Toolbox, and then we'll test the end-to-end flow where someone would query in natural language, with interact with the agent and get information from the database. So stay tuned. All right, so let's get started. So I'm logged on to my Google Cloud Platform console, and we'll start with creating a project. So we'll create a new project here and we'll call Agentic AI POC, and we'll create a project here. And as you may notice that I am in free trial, I have $300 credit and the account expires on May 23rd, May 23rd, 2026. So I have some time and some money, and that should be enough for us to do this POC. So now first thing, let's create the database here. So let me change the project here. And I'm going to create, so we're going to use Postgres Cloud SQL database. So we'll go to Cloud SQL here and create instance. We'll click on create instance and we'll select Postgres here. So, and we have to enable API. So there's a lot of this enablement of API that happens as no cost, but there's a necessary step to create an instance. So I'm enabling the API here to be able to create the Postgres SQL instance. It should take just a few more seconds to finish. All right, so the API is enabled. So now we're going to configure our instance. So we'll select enterprise here. There's two options. We'll select enterprise to keep the cost low for our POC. Then we'll use sandbox. We'll use the latest version and we'll call this people data. People data instance, if I can spell. And we'll give the default password. Okay, and then region availability we will keep US Central 1, single zone, and rest configuration options. So the other options are, say for example, data protection. Because we are in POC, we want to delete, we don't need backups, so we can remove the backups. We can remove the instant deletion, return backups, so all those things that we can set up. So let's just go ahead and create the instance. Now this may take a couple minutes for it to get created, so we'll wait for it to get created and then do next steps of creating users. And then we will create the table on the instance, and then we'll go from there. So stay tuned. All right, so looks like the instance has been created and it's up and running. So let's go check. So instance, so this is in the running state. Close this. So it is runnable. So let's click on it. And then let's go ahead and create a user. So we already have the default user. We're just going to create the one to be able to connect for for query purposes. Okay. So user has been added. Now let's go ahead to Cloud SQL Studio. That's where we'll run queries. So we'll pick the database Postgres and user built in. So we have user here. And authenticate. Okay, so we are logged in. So now we need to create the tables here. So we can create tables, views, functions. We'll create a table here. So we'll click on untitled query and we'll write the query here to create the table. So I'm going to paste create table SQL script. So I'm going to create employees table. It will have columns like name, user ID, title, department, office location, charge rate, date the employee joined, created date and created by, and I'm going to execute it. And so the table's been created. Now if you look here, then you'll be able to see the table with the columns. It's all there. So now I'm going to populate this with test data. I'm going to copy another script to create test data here. So it will insert 250 rows of data. So click on run. Execute successfully. Now let's go ahead and just check it out. Okay. And let's run it. Okay, so we have 250 rows. Okay. Let's run. Okay, so we have wide variety of data here. So it's kind of spread with charge rate, office location, user ID, title, things like that. So we have the data staged. Now we are going to set up MCP Toolbox to be able to connect to this database. So that will be our next step. So we are going to use something called Cloud Shell here. So let me look for this. And let me open a new page, a new tab. So we have that. Right? Did authorize. Just make sure it's the right account. It takes for a minute for it to get it up and running. So you have to make sure that you are in the right project. So we'll create a new project, new folder here. We'll create a root. Okay, so we have the folder here. And within folder, we'll create another. So let's go ahead to terminal. And then we need to. Okay. Now we create a folder here. For toolbox. And then we go to that. And now we are going to install the MCP Toolbox here. So we'll just. So we are going to create a folder here for Toolbox. And then we'll go to that folder. And now we're going to install the MCP Toolbox here. So MCP Toolbox is open source and can get more information here on the GitHub link here. And we'll talk more about it, but there is more documentation here. Mainly we'll be talking about configuration on how we have tools.yaml file that will configure here. But first we want to install. So let's go ahead and install. And if we look at the latest version, okay. So the latest version is 27, so we'll install this version. So go back. Okay, so that's going to be our version. And then we'll run curl command. So I'm going to copy the curl command here and run it. So this curl command will actually grab it and install it here. The connection seems to be slow. So right now it's saying 37 minutes. So we'll just give a few minutes for it to install. It doesn't take that long. And now it's saying 16 seconds. So we'll just wait for a few seconds here to get it installed, and then we'll resume the next steps. All right, so we now have the toolbox downloaded. So let's go ahead but the permissions are, we don't have executable, so let's add that. All right, now let's check the version just to make sure that it is correct. All right, so now we have the version and everything. So we have installed it correctly. Now we just need to make sure that we have tools.yaml file, which is really the control file that is used. So if GenAI Toolbox, and it says configuration, and so it gives information about varieties of sources. So let's go ahead and go to sources. And if you look on the left, there is Cloud SQL Postgres. And so these are the available tools. But what we are interested in right now to start with is we want to so there are different sections, and the top section is for sources. So we need to have tools.yaml with this source. So I'll copy a template tools.yaml, and then we'll start to update that. All right, so I'm going to go to editor. So I'm going to click open editor, and then I'm going to go to, we're in toolbox folder. So I'm going to create another file called tools.yaml. Okay. Then we have tools. So I'm going to copy a template, and then we'll update the template. So first we need to add the project ID. So project ID is Agentic. So we'll copy that. And our source name is Cloud SQL PG source, which is used here as well. So we got that US Central 1 instance name. So let's go ahead and get the instance name. So we can go to overview of instances, and from here we can grab the name. So our instance name is people data. So let's go ahead and, so we have Postgres user. So we put the user and we put in the password. I know this is text. But for now, for this POC, it is fine. So now there are two tools available. So tool 1 and tool 2. So we'll just make more meaningful names. So we'll search by so search employees by department. PostgreSQL sources matching to source here. Descriptions, we'll just say search employees by department. And then parameter name, we'll call it department. So we have department here. It's of type string. Description is department. Employees in it. Now it says select star from, so our table is employees, where Okay, so employees were columns. So let's go look at the column for department. So let's go to Cloud SQL Studio. And if we look at our department is department. So let's go ahead and where department like, and we'll say order by. And if you want to go to order by, then we can order by say date underscore joined. And if you want to go to latest employees first, then we can descending. And now let's go to tool 2. So we'll search by location. So we'll call this search by location. And description, we'll copy the description from here. So search by location. And then description I will again copy here. This is a description of the parameter, so we'll just say location. Searching employees in it. Select star from employees. From let me just double check the column name for office location. So it is office underscore location. So that's correct. And then we have order by, we can just say descending. So we got that. Parameter name. So parameter name in this case is office location. And our tool set, so let's copy that. And then the second one is search employees by location. All right, so this looks good now. So I'm going to save. So let me just double check. We have got, okay, the SQL query here in the statement, SQL query here in the statement. So we got this. So let's save this and let's proceed to the next steps. So the next step is to actually run the MCP toolbox from command line. So let's go ahead, open terminal. And now we already have toolbox and tools.yaml here. So we are going to run. So it will be dash. And then it is tools.yaml, and then we are going to execute this. Okay, so it says API has not been used. So let's go ahead and click on the link to start the API. So go ahead. So when you do that, you need to make sure that you are in the right account. So I'm going to go to my right account that I'm using. As you can see, I have multiple accounts, but going to the right one here. So this will enable the Cloud SQL admin API. So Cloud SQL admin API, so we'll enable it. So it might take a minute or so. So it's enabled here. So let's try again, see if it works. All right, so it says servers ready to serve. So our MCP toolbox server is ready. So the way to validate is we go to Now the way to validate is then we go to port 5000 here, and it is under web preview. So we go here, change port 5000 here, change in preview. So it will show hello world message. That means we are able to connect. So the next step is to look at our tool set, the tools that we provide using this MCP Toolbox configuration. So we go API/tool set. And if we look at, we had provided two tools. One was search by department, search employees by department, search by location. So both of them are displayed here. Now we want to actually be able to test some queries. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to run the command with a UI parameter in it. So let's go ahead and stop this. And let's run that command again. But this time we'll add UI here, and let's run it. It's complaining about Cloud SQL. Okay, maybe you need to just run it again. Okay, now it's already running. So now it's giving you a URL for it. So let's go ahead and click on that URL. So again, it's hello world, and we need to go ahead and tag UI at the end of it. So now we have this interface, and if we click on tools, then we'll see the tools that we created. So search employees by department. So, and here there will be a description. Okay, department like finance, etc. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's put finance here. And run the tool. Okay, so column department does not exist, so we need to go ahead, and I guess I mistyped, so let's go ahead and stop this. And let's go ahead to our editor here. Where department like, order by date join, descending. So let's save this. And let's go back to the terminal here again, and let's start it again. Okay, I think it's no why it's giving it that same error. Let's retry again. Okay, so now it's up and running. So let's go ahead. So we have the tools view here. So I'm going to type in UI here. So now we have the tools here. So we have two tools. Click on the first tool. Okay, now let's put IT this time. So now we got all the employees here. So they are in IT department. Department IT. I'm surprised it's department security here. Oh, so any department which has IT in it. So because it is, we had like, so we had this. Quality and security also has IT in it, so it pulled that. So these are all the entries that are pulled back. Now if we go back and let's say if we put finance, and we'll get slightly better results. So we'll have to fine tune the process here. Now if we look at this queries, now we see all the employees that have department finance here. So got this. Now let's search employees by location. So there's another tool. So we can put things like Dallas, Texas. And it returns list of employees which have location as Dallas, Texas. Now if we just put Dallas, it should return. So, and it is returning those some entries. Now let's see if we put Texas, does it return all Texas employees? So we put that. Yep, so employees from San Antonio, employees from Houston, Austin. So all this data is being returned through this MCP toolbox. Now in the next video, what we'll do is we'll connect this MCP toolbox to the Agentic AI application, and there through the browser. Now this is through this toolbox, but through the browser, the users will be able to query uh, the agent and using natural language. And then the agent would be able to use these tools in the toolbox and then return the output back to the user. So we'll continue on this in the next video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.